Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
Good morning, everybody. We're here the first day of Sun and Fun 2022. Started at 9 o'clock this morning. We got the booth all set up for you. We need you to come by the booth to get y'all's free prize. Here, spin the wheel, guys. You spin the wheel, you might win something. We got some really cool gifts on here. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube videos. Come by and see the booth. We're going to have the blimp flying later today. If this wind will calm down, we're going to have the blimp up 30 feet in the air, guys. Be a cool sight to see. We got some great deals inside. If you need a quote on your installation of your aircraft, any kind of new stuff, new products, we got a lot of stock in-house, more than anybody else that I've seen here. So come by and see what we got here, guys. Good morning, 2022. Come by and see us. We'll be here all week.
When it's time to recover and paint your fabric-covered aircraft, look no further than Airt Coatings. Since 1982, our FAA-approved system provides you with a shiny, durable, easy-to-apply product. The Airt system has fewer steps than any other product on the market today, saving you both time and money. While using cutting-edge technology, we offer a wide range of products. Whether it's for work, play, antique, or aerobatic, we have you covered. Remember, we make paint fly.
There are thousands of airstrips that are dirt, grass, and mud across the United States, Canada, and the world. Many of these are inaccessible to normal aircraft. There's a certain breed of pilot who wants to be able to land anywhere, either for sport or by pure necessity. They're bush pilots. We practice these skills so we can be safe off airport, so we can get into and out of the tight spots, the backcountry, and the unimproved fields. You'll now watch some of the best pilots in the world show you what they can do with as little as 50 feet. Not only can they take off and land off airport, they can take off and land anywhere. This is the Husky National STOL Series. The Husky National STOL Series is presented by Husky and Avion Aircraft, America's favorite tail dragger. McFarlane Aviation Products, thousands of parts, save thousands of dollars. American Legend Aircraft, not your grandfather's Cub. Duke Propellers, offering a wide variety of carbon-made propellers and rotors. Sarasota Avionics, the #1 aircraft avionics installer in the nation. Rugged Radios, the official communications provider of National STOL. Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance, aviation protected. Airt Coatings, we make paint fly. Sporty's Pilot Shop, learn to fly here. The Fat Tire Cowboys, an aviation adventure brand steeped in cowboy lore. And now, live from the south side of Fun Aerospace Expo's campus at the famous Paradise City Field in Lakeland, Florida, this is the 2022 Husky National STOL Demos.
Hello and welcome to the Husky National STOL Sun and Fun Demo 2022. This is Saturday night, the biggest night. I'm joined by my friend Ryan Dombrowski, and we're in for a heck of a show tonight.
Dude, we are in for such a heck of a show because the wind is howling.
It's cold, guys. I'm a Floridian. I'm wearing a jacket because we've got a low density altitude and tons of wind.
And I'm a Wisconsinite. I'm feeling pretty comfortable in my shorts. I did put this shirt on. It's a little breezy. Hey, so it is Saturday night, like you mentioned, Saturday night, and it's the last night of the demo. We got a lot of competitors here who just want to leave it all on the line for their Sun and Fun experience.
Now, again, this is not competition per se.
Correct.
When you come
That's
to
correct.
a true Husky National STOL event, the competition is not only fierce, it's kind of inspiring. So today, however, we're going to showcase what we do at those events, and we've got all kinds of cool airplanes to do that with today. We're going to walk through the lineup in a moment, but first, we want to talk a little bit about what happened last night. Ryan, walk us through the experience last night and some of those final scores. Do you remember the final scores from last night?
I don't even remember. I know they were insane. So here's the thing that stands out for me the most from last night was that we had heavy wind, just like tonight, and we had, for instance, Warren Grobelar in a Cessna 180 doing 80-foot takeoffs and landings.
86-foot takeoff, 89-foot landing. I mean, you can't say exceptional enough times about Warren Grobelar's performance last night.
And I did a little forum presentation with him today at Sun and Fun, and he was very humble. He was like, it was all the wind. It's all the wind. Check out the weather info right now. 320 at 18, gusting 22. So actually windier today than yesterday.
It's a little bit less down the runway, just about 10 degrees less, but that's okay. I mean, we're still liking the way this looks a lot.
It's going to be super intense. It's going to be gusty. You're going to see, I predict, if I may be so bold, a lot of scratches because we've got the gusty conditions, some that lead to some scratches. Before we get too far into it, though, I'm wondering if we should bring everyone at home up to speed on what National STOL is.
Yeah, let's walk through it because we tried last night. Let's be frank and honest here. We kind of screwed up because we tried to do it right in the middle of the show and walk people through what the rules are and what to expect. But first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone here at Sun and Fun who has taken the time to come out here on a Saturday night, a beautiful Saturday night, and join us because the stands are filling up. I see more and more people. Last night they were 8, 10, 12 deep. It's starting to expand even more than that now. Looking there down toward the east side of the tower. If we look to the west side, we'll see probably triple the number of people. It's just growing, and that's what we love to see at Husky National STOL. We love seeing it grow. And part of the reason for its growth is because the rules are easy to understand. The first
you
one
just set me up for failure, probably. The rules are easy to understand. Okay, let me tee it up for you, folks. If you're here at the show, you're watching online, check out that line with the green cones right there. That is the line that everything happens on. First, competitors will taxi up to that line and put their main wheels on the line. Those are typically the bigger ones. You're going to see
typically, yes.
Tail draggers, the front set of wheels, nose draggers, as sometimes we derogatorily call them, with the rear set of wheels. They'll taxi to the line. They'll get released by the line judge, and you'll hear us say fun things like they put the beans in, they poured on the coals, whatever. They're going to go as fast as they can, get some airspeed, take off as short as possible, and it's judged, it's scored by those judges off on the line. Visually, you'll see them run back and forth, making sure they got the most accurate score. Everyone goes around the pattern, just like a normal traffic pattern. If you're a student learning how to fly, no different what you're practicing every day with your flight instructor. Coming in for a landing, you're going to see various approaches. Eric and I will walk you through a little bit of what those different things mean. But the goal is to land on the line
Or
not
just
before
after
it.
the line.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. If you can land on the line, you might be misjudged. So it's really important that we get them just past the line because they want to be able to get stopped as quickly as possible. If they land before the line, we call it a scratch.
Yep,
And
scratch.
their entire score for that flight is not counted.
Correct. So what happens is they land after the line, hopefully. If you land before, the way I like to, the analogy I like to use, is like landing on a carrier.
Right.
You land before the line, you're in the water.
Exactly.
So don't do that here. Then we take that round's takeoff and landing distances, we add them together, and that's your score. You cannot cherry pick your best takeoff or your best landing and combine them. It's all about what you do in that one specific round.
And the other thing we're always looking for here is something called consistency. In our actual competitions, there's a most consistent prize. And the last time we had one here, Austin Clemens took it with 3 flights, and his total difference was 6 feet between all 3 flights. So he is takeoff and landing. 3 different flights, 6 feet total difference, 2 feet per flight. That's incredible consistency. And consistency is something that we look for in pilots because when you have a consistent pilot, you have a non-complacent and safe pilot, right?
It's all about being safe. And to use that carrier analogy again, that's like hitting the 3-wire every single time. Ooh, we did that in sync.
Bam,
That was good.
Powerful. Yeah. So that's one of the big powerful things about National STOL. Something we are working for here is not just to do cool stuff that's entertaining, but we want to encourage pilots to come out and do this with us. It doesn't matter what kind of airplane you fly. There is a category for you, and we are working on a Pilatus PC-12 category. We want it
just
desperately.
Need 3 of them. We
just need 3 of them. I'm sure the Padies will bring 1. We just need 2 more now, guys. But that said, this is designed to drive pilots toward being the best, safest pilots they can be. I believe truly that when the moment you stop learning is the moment you become unsafe. So coming out here, we have a competitor tonight, or a demo pilot tonight. His name is Roger. Roger came out, saw people flying Tuesday, and said, you know what? I think I will do that. So Roger O'Neill will be out here joining us. Yesterday was his first time ever, and he actually put down some pretty impressive scores for his first time. We talked a little bit about his technique, and he was walking me through some of the things that his concerns were. He doesn't have vortex generators on his airplane yet. He's got things he wants to work out, but he was out here, and he had fun, and he's excited. He's going home and he's going to be practicing. But let's talk some more about those competitors. Who do we have coming out tonight?
So here's what we've got, and I want to make note of the aircraft because what you were talking about, the accessibility of this sport. And you're going to see aircraft of all shapes and sizes, of all gross weights. That's how they're typically arranged tonight. We're kind of mashing them all together for
mix and match,
for
baby.
Fun. First up, we're going to see Gary Schmidt in a Just Super STOL. That's a very classic bush plane, right? You're going to see the big, huge shocks on it. Right after it, Matt Peterson. I actually got to go up with Matt Peterson this morning. He showed me how to really STOL land an airplane.
Please tell me that video is on your story.
Yeah, you can go on my Instagram stories and
check it out.
How firm that landing was. He's in a 1957 Cessna 172. So a lot of folks in the crowd who are thinking about becoming pilots or are pilots already, you probably spent a little time in a 172, and you can be competitive here at National STOL in a 172.
Matt actually had his best run ever last night. He was thrilled with a 50-foot drop in his best run. So that's the kind of fun that he was having and that you guys could have as well. But next up, we have 19-year-old phenom Jaden Newman, one of the few females in this category, in this sport currently. We're always looking for more. I think it's a great thing for all pilots. And she's flying that new 2020, they're calling it 2021, really. It was released today, like this week. So that brand new Super Patriot, that gorgeous Alpine camo scheme.
Yeah, super dope looking. Covered in one of our sponsors, Airt Coatings. It's beautiful aircraft.
And one of the things that's going to be cool about tonight is she's actually going to be sharing that airplane with another one of our pilots who had been flying it earlier in the week, Cameron Simmons. Cam is a 25-year-old pilot from Oklahoma, and he is going to be just flying the pants off because now he's got more time in it and he's excited about it. But let's talk about Luke.
Luke Spohr in the MOAC, the mother of all Cubs. He'll be in Alpha 4 position out of Emory, Texas. And then the favorite last night.
Oh my gosh, the cheers, guys. I couldn't hear the announcers because there was so much yelling.
His name's so long it won't even fit on the live broadcast. Warwick Grobelar, or G-Lar, as he's on there, in that 1955 Cessna 180. It's the polished one with the... I was asking him what color... How do you describe the plane? So what's the polished one? It's the polished one with the tennis ball accents. And I was like,
tennis ball
that's
green.
Exactly the color it is.
I respect that. Next up, Christian Grewon in the 2021 Just Aircraft Super STOL. That one has the 915 engine. followed by another crowd favorite.
John Humbert in the Super 701, the Zenith Super 701 with a horn built in. You'll hear that tonight. After that, the man, the myth, the legend, Steve Henry. We'll talk about his return to the demo this week when he's flying. Roger O'Neill, who you mentioned before, in the Kit Fox S7. Cameron, who you just mentioned in the
Patriot, the Super Patriot. Yeah.
And then Larry Mednick. I wonder if Larry's going to go or not in the Evolution Revolt tonight.
I believe he probably will. Larry's the kind of guy who enjoys a little bit of cross. When he likes the challenge, he enjoys just seeing what he can actually do. But we have some additional guys out here. We have Greg Spicola. We weren't able to get him in here quick enough, and he's flying something we've never seen in one of these before. It's an American Ranger. Do you know what an American Ranger is?
I'm wondering if it's that silver spaceship that's been flying around.
It is a gyrocopter. So our very first gyrocopter competitor. Very excited to see Greg fly that, along with Andy Humphrey flying the Aeropract Foxbat. We got to see the Aeropract fly last night, and we saw some very impressive scores from an airplane that was brought here as a factory demo. This is not an airplane that's designed for this, but it's an airplane that can do it. So we just got word from the tower. 1 minute to launch. We know these pilots. What do you think is going through their minds right now? What are they working on? What are they working out? What are they trying to push themselves toward?
Well, when we talked to the pilots today, the big thing that they were hoping for was some wind. And we have that wind, and it is a little bit more of a crosswind, and it is still gusting. So that's going to change their approach. I think they're trying to size it up. I feel bad a little bit for Gary Schmidt. Everyone's got their eyes on the first guy in the line to see what they're dealing with. He's certainly an experienced pilot, though. He'll be able to bring it home. It's really about, and we talk about this a lot in the series, getting that first landing in as safe on the board. And by safe, I mean safely on the board with a score. If you scratch, that's no good.
Right. They want to get the score in the bank, even if it's long, because they want to make sure that they don't. The worst thing you could possibly have happen to you as a pilot here is to not get any scores on the board.
Absolutely.
Gary Schmidt on the roll now. Or is he? He's thinking about it.
He's about to be. There he goes. All right.
Tails off the ground. Nice and big. You could see he's carrying so much energy there, that immediate balloon up to about 80 feet.
Just a huge vertical there for Gary Schmidt.
We've got Matt lining up, Colonel Matt.
So yesterday when Matt pulled up to the line, I said, Matt's flown 195 different people in his plane. I was 196 this morning.
Most excellent. Matt on the roll. We're going to see what kind of performance he can get. He said he did pull out his passenger seat. I wonder if he put it back in, but that was a pretty impressive score for a 0300 powered 1957 straight tail 172.
Now here's Jaden Newman on the line in that Patriot, Super Patriot. Love the paint job on that thing.
Jaden's been flying a Carbon Cup for a couple of years now. She's done very well on this circuit, and at just 19, she's working at pulling the airplane off just under 100 feet.
Pulled it a little early that time, and I think it's important. Jaden, literally, I think the first time she flew that aircraft was last night.
It was indeed. So this is an airplane that it does, it's Cub. All Cubs fly kind of alike, but there are differences. And with the 4-inch wider body on that Patriot, that Super Patriot, it has some different aerodynamic tendencies. But Luke Spohr is on the roll in the Legend, up on step, and away he goes.
There we go.
Just shy of 75 feet.
Luke is going to be really happy with that one. Again, they were all hoping for win today, and he got it. Now, I'm wondering if the Warren Grobelaar cheering section is here. Are you here, Warren's people? What do you guys call yourselves?
The Grobelaars?
The Grobelaars.
That said, guys, listen for the bite. Listen for the sound of this MT propeller. Obviously, MT propeller is one of our sponsors here at Husky National STOL, and we know that they love talking about how loud that prop can get. There's the bite, diving to the ground. Wait for the flaps. He rotates. Ooh, a moment too early. Warren really frustrated with the result, but he's trying to get it off as quick as he possibly can.
Warren talked a lot about how everyone thinks he's going to be cutting grass. I think we said it last night. He's cutting grass. He's like, look, when I do that, the airplane's not actually nose down. It's just in flying configuration.
There's times when he's a little nose down. He can say that all he wants, but there's times when it's definitely a little bit in nose down configuration.
Well, we get ready here. Here comes Gary Schmidt, low and to your left. You're going to see different approaches. I think on these first ones, you're probably going to see people come in a little bit higher.
They're not working quite as hard. Again, they're not trying to land right on that line, although Gary may just do that. Power was out early. Behringer brakes coming into play. All right, we did just get some reports of an issue with the MOAC. The slat safety pin was left in, so when you see him land, you'll see him dismount from the aircraft or have another safety member of his team pull that pin, and it will be an interesting experience. I wonder if he just has one that's in and one that's out. Certainly a different experience landing with one slat.
Yeah, you want to make sure that all those aerodynamic forces are equal, so we'll make sure he gets that sorted out. Here comes Colonel Matt.
Colonel Matt flying this 57-172. This is an airplane that is known for being anemic, but he had a takeoff in under 200 feet there. And I know that he'll be thrilled with that result. 160-foot takeoff. He is on track here that he could very easily beat his best score. He's across the line.
Really
good
safe.
Score here.
Heavy on the brakes there for Matt. And, one of the things I felt bad today, he put the seat back in for me. I got to ride around with him and do some pad work, and he's like, uh-oh. I just realized that my brain's going to be thinking you're in the seat with me when I go up. So I don't think that was an issue for him today, though, clearly.
Not at all. And that just beat his best overall score from yesterday by 100 feet.
Oh, man. On the first run.
On the first run. We've got two more to see what Matt can do, at least two more. Very excited for him. I know that the joy that he's going to have for us will be pretty big. He gave me the biggest high five of my day when I told him last night that there was a winning run.
And that's, I think, part of it, too, right? Matt, you see Matt coming out to all the events. He's competing against some heavy, heavy competition in the light touring class, and he's just coming out every time, improving, working harder every time. Here's Jaden Newman now, low into your left.
She's bringing this airplane in under what we call high alpha power. So she's right behind the power curve, keeping that wing as lightly loaded as possible. She's really low. Good Lord, Jaden, keep her off, keep her off. Ooh, I think it's a scratch.
Line judge just a scratch. That was right on the line. She might be a little frustrated with that.
92-foot takeoff, lost score now because of that early touch. You can see the wheels touching just before the line in the replay.
Yeah, just before the line. Could not have been a nicer landing, honestly, beyond that.
All right, we've got Luke Spohr now on approach in that MOAC.
Slipping it. He loves to slip that
I love to slip, man. I think, especially in a Cub, there's no better airplane to slip than a Cub. If that door is down and starts to fly up on you, it's a good feeling.
So he's not getting the full benefit of his slats right now. He's going to hold it off. He's not getting the full benefit of them.
Look for the sink. He was looking for the sink. It didn't come. Gave up 75 feet there.
Obviously, it's behaving a little differently than he's used to there, but it looks to me like they were both locked in. So we'll have to see what that looks like in the next pass.
Those slats definitely aid in it being able to fly a different angle of attack, and that's exactly what he wanted in that position. He wants to fly the more aggressive angle of attack, allow the airplane to really lock in on track, touch that tail wheel down, and just drag it until he can get the mains across the line.
Here's Warren Grobelar coming in. We were talking a little bit today about the different weather effects the pilots face here at Sun and Fun specifically. And I asked him about the NOAA building, if that affects him with any road or anything. He said, no, the bigger thing is this line of trees right here.
The line of trees. Every pilot's dream is to cut these trees down. But he is on approach now, chopping the power, getting heavy under braking. Watch those tires slide to a stop just shy of 125.
Really impressive for Warren. It feels like he didn't have as much wind on the nose as some of the other competitors that round, if I'm honest.
Again, we are blocked by about 4,000 of our closest friends over here.
It's true. We do have literally thousands of people here tonight blocking the wind for us. While everyone taxis by, if you're in the crowd, you got to cheer for them. They can hear you over the engine noise. You got to make sure you let them know that you love what they're doing. We're so excited. Look at the
look at the people. Get those hands
there.
Up. Come on, guys.
I
wave
see
at those
someone
people.
In a bright pink shirt waving. Everyone do like she's doing.
There we go. She's got it down. I know it seems cheesy, guys, but this is part of the deal. As a pilot, getting to fly in front of a bunch of your friends or compatriots, getting to share this experience is such a joy. They want to know that you're excited. As part of the Paradigm Aerobatic team, one of my favorite things is when we land and we get to high-five the kids on our way back in because you can see their smiles. It's absolutely amazing. We're actually flying here in about 2 hours, so I'll have to be leaving you a little early possibly.
No pressure.
But that's all right. It's all right. We're excited. It's going to be a good time. Jaden taxiing by the booth now. I can see a bunch of young ladies over there waving at her. Awesome to see.
While everyone's taxiing over, let's talk a little bit about our sponsors. We got to talk about our headline sponsor. That's Husky Aviat Aircraft Incorporated. You can check them out here at Sun and Fun tomorrow or tonight. Sun and Fun booth, Mike Delta 31 Bravo MD31B,
and that's right down in the center of the main area for Sun and Fun. So very easy to find. Great big booth.
So check out Husky. They're a great aircraft that's competing a lot of times. You see, couldn't make it due to weather. Austin Clemens, a big national STOL competitor, typically in the Husky, flying around for us. Husky aircraft is where luxury aircraft and backcountry meet. They're faster, stronger, and more. Here's our good friend, Gary Schmidt, at the line.
Gary Schmidt at the line on his roll. Currently, Warren is in first place with 228 feet, followed by Gary 1 foot behind him. Absolutely incredible to see. Warren and Grobel are in a class here with other bush planes. You know,
with
he's
light
normally,
experimental.
Yeah, he's normally in the heavy touring division, and here he is playing and getting the best score of them all.
Obviously, anything can happen when you're a foot separate there. Luke Spohr with 304. Matt Peterson, 324 feet on his last run. Yanking it off a lot sooner that time, it looked.
It was indeed 160 last time. Looks like about a 145-foot takeoff for Matt Peterson. This man is going to be absolutely thrilled. He is the leader of Swamp STOL in Louisiana, where we were a couple weeks ago. Jaden now on the roll. A little more aggressive.
There we go.
Exactly what she wanted to see right there.
She's getting that new aircraft, new to her aircraft, dialed in.
And you have to keep in mind, that airplane, that Super Patriot, is a IFR airplane with autopilot. It is set up for comfort, not competition. It's running on 28-inch tires, not 31s or 35s. It doesn't even have competition shocks on it. You know, there's a whole lot of things that they're going to be able to do to that airplane to increase the performance to be something like what we see there with the MOAC of Luke Spohr.
I noticed already in the gusts that the slats are moving.
Luke's off right around 70 feet, 68 feet. Very impressive from Luke Spohr.
Watch here, if you're watching at home on the replay, they want to take that bite. They talk about taking a bite of angle of attack, and if the plane flies too easily after that, it means they waited too long. It needs to be able to be held in ground effect for a little bit to get up to speed before they go off into their full climb. So that's a big thing. I was talking to Matt again today as we were flying around. He said, oh man, that one, I waited too long. We took off too easily. It's kind of an interesting take on it.
Heavy under braking. Look at that nose drop. He's going to take it back as quickly as he can, sub 100.
The other tactic that we just saw from Warren there was pointing the nose into the wind as much as he could on the runway. So they don't have to go straight down. He took a little bit more bite of the wind, make it a little more of a headwind there.
And you notice he did that at the last possible moment. He waited watching those flags. There's a big reason we have all those flags out there, because the wind changed on Warren by about 15 degrees from what we'd seen for the previous pilots. Gary Schmidt now, short approach, bringing it a little higher. Gary likes that more cautious approach, and now just letting the gear take it. He's slow. Let the gear take it. Very nice, Gary.
You know, for letting the gear take it, that's a pretty gentle landing.
As compared to some of the other competitors we've seen this weekend, including our friend Steve Henry, ripping the gear off his airplane.
That is the thing that happened.
It is a thing that happened. It is something that definitely can happen, but it was done safely, and there was no major incident. Thankfully, he was back up and flying just 48 hours later due to his friends at Sensonic Propellers and Lincoln Welders.
Kind of crazy. Think about that. We had to replace the main gear that had failed, and then get a whole new prop hub in.
It's pretty awesome.
2 days.
Pretty awesome.
Here's Matt high and to the left, crabbing into that crosswind.
It does seem to be turning back for him just a bit. Matt has the potential here to get his ultimate experience. We have more information coming in.
Oh!
It's good.
Oh, it's good.
Get on those brakes, Matt. Oh, my goodness gracious. Matt is going to be beyond thrilled, just absolutely doing an amazing job there. And we do have some more information. It looks like Schmidt and Grobel are now tied for 228.
So Gary Schmidt, very consistent. Again, only shaving that 1 foot off.
We reviewed the footage, and it was a scratch after all. It looks so close in the camera. We have a high-speed camera there on the line. It does capture that his back right wheel, his right main touched just a few inches before the line, but I'm pretty sure he didn't let those wheels slide or roll one bit after stepping on the brakes.
Still really impressive. I think that wasn't a scratch in the court of public opinion over here with everyone watching their Coors Lights.
We got thumbs up from the crowd.
Yeah, go thumbs up. All right, here comes Jaden low and to the left. She likes that lower turf skimming approach.
Keep it up, Jaden. Keep it up. Oh, it's a scratch. It's disappointing when you scratch, and you're much more likely to with that approach. However, the way she's doing it, playing with the throttle, she has the opportunity to stop much, much shorter than her competitors, and that's what she's hoping for.
And I talked to Jay Stanford. Jay Stanford's one of the experimental Bush pilots that flies with us a lot. And he was saying that there's a bit debate about that. Just the low approach that Jaden just did there, you've got a lot more forward energy. And he would argue that when he flies, he comes in a little bit steeper and he can direct some of that energy into the ground. There was a little bit of jabbing back and forth amongst the pilots about whether or not that was totally accurate.
Oh, there's a gust there for Luke Spohr.
Oh, Luke's just going around.
He is unhappy with that one. Gonna take it around. Interesting choice.
Can always go around, right?
Exactly. That gust came through, and you notice the immediate amount of lift that hit Luke. You know, we're in the point of the day now where that ground, the heat is starting to recede. So we're going to start seeing less and less changes throughout the evening. But hopefully we'll keep the wind up at least until 8:16 before my team performs tonight, because we don't like this much wind.
Right, you want it just until the end of the demo and then to go away.
Hey, that would work just great for us.
Here comes Warren with those flaps just totally dropped. I love the way just aesthetically the giant tires hanging down there.
That polished metal is just stunning. He says it takes him hours and hours. He's across the line off the power, heavy into braking. You notice he cleaned up those flaps immediately.
Yeah, dumping as much lift as he can by removing those flaps.
His last takeoff was 97 feet. The previous one, 111. We'll get the number here on exactly what that was. It looks like a 117-foot landing. Exactly the same as his previous.
Again, we've got a lot of great consistency here at Sun 'n Fun.
Love to see it. Total difference 14 feet between the last takeoff.
So Luke Spohr now
we get to see what his airplane can do.
Base to final. Coming in higher. You know, I think that MOAC, that legend MOAC, I make this joke every time. Eventually people get tired of hearing it, that those gun racks.
It's a vortex generator.
Yeah, they add a lot of lift to the plane.
He's got them secretly filled with helium, just like we said last night. But that said, you have to look at these airplanes. And if you get the opportunity to stop by the Legend booth, we'd encourage you to, because Legend has this finish on their airplanes now that is so deep. It's like looking at a bass boat. And they've done an amazing job building out the paint and just really refining an age-old aircraft design. Look at him starting to slide her around, a little bit of a slip, working the rudder now. He's on approach. He's got the right power setting in. Keep it in. Keep it off. Now chop the throttle.
He heard you.
He just responded a little late. He's kind of like my 7-year-old. Just a little slow to respond.
Late.
Just a little slow to respond. That's all right. We still love him.
Speaking of children, can I do a personal thing for a second?
Let's do it.
I want to say happy birthday to my kid.
You're not there for your kid's birthday?
I'm not there. I'm here right now. Emily's at home.
Happy
probably
birthday,
getting ready.
Emily.
Well, she's probably eating dinner right now. Emily, you're at home. You turned 4 today.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
I'm so proud of you. Let's go fly an airplane together, Emily.
I love it.
Thanks for that, everybody. Thanks for everyone's like, aw, she's adorable.
I missed the last 8 of my sons, my eldest birthday, because of Oshkosh. And this year I went to Oshkosh for one day, jumped in my airplane, and raced home because I was like, I'm not missing your 10th birthday, buddy. Not going to do it.
Can't do it. Let's talk about, speaking of birthdays.
Let's talk about Aviation. So Aviation. They feature inspirational stories written by or for young, diverse aviators involved in all disciplines of aviation aerospace. Their mission is to attract, educate, and empower youth in aviation, especially girls and boys aged 12 to 22. They simultaneously attempt to reach aviation aerospace industry leaders in all disciplines as well. So they're looking for inspirational stories, community outreach opportunities, HR and branding, advertising, and content supporters. Visit the Aviation booth here at Sun 'n Fun, located in the Lakeland Aero Club near the main entrance. And look for the Aviation team here at the show and share your aviation story as you ride in the tram. kind of a cool mission. They're really trying to inspire these younger aviators, and I absolutely love that. But I do want to say really quick a welcome to Dirty Bird, who is watching in the chat. Our friend Corey Robin. I miss flying with him, man. We went to Kitty Hawk together, and I pulled a paramotor out of the back of his Carbon Cub and went flying.
I know,
at the first flight track.
Pretty epic story.
So much fun.
Jason Boussat on social, he's talking about maybe meeting people at Oshkosh, hinting at maybe a new airplane reveal.
Airplane.
I wonder airplane reveal. I wonder what he could be talking about.
I can't wait to see more information from Jason. But we do have Michael back on the line. Gary getting a very presentable takeoff, 79 feet, shorter and shorter for Gary. 105. 87, 79. Matt Peterson, 160, 148. And let's see if he can get it even shorter still. Jared Justice, my Kit Fox brother from Swamp Stole, says he's watching and flying right now.
I'm curious about that a little bit more. Jared, thank you for watching.
You know, I've heard tales. I won't say who it was, but my understanding is there's at least 2 competitors that watch the live stream while they fly, so they know whether or not they have to beat their previous score.
That's kind of cunning.
It's kind of cunning. I mean, I don't think I'd actually watch, but I might listen to it in my headset.
That's right. We got to be careful what we say. Here's Jayden.
On the line, rotating quickly. It is a good takeoff, but again, we noticed that she got a little more altitude than I'd like to see. I want to see that thing scratching for air. I don't want to see it jump into the sky.
Travis Meyer on social saying he's watching from Wayne, Nebraska. Is anyone else in the crowd here tonight from Nebraska?
We got some.
I see.
All right, crowd favorite Warren Grobelar waving to his fans. He's got to know Gary Schmidt's turning base behind him. He's waiting for the wind. I know Warren. He's like, oh, I've got to check something. I got to make sure my helmet's on. No. He's waiting for that perfect moment to let that MT propeller eat some air and propel him forward. There's the turn. Dropping the nose further, looking for that rotational force. He does manage to grab it. You notice there, he barely stayed in the sky. That's exactly what you should do.
And the other thing he said for him, a great takeoff is when the mains come off just a tiny bit before the tail wheel hits. So that one matched that description perfectly for him. He's going to be happy with that.
He will indeed. Gary Schmidt now on approach. And we do have information that Luke Spohr is dropping out of this round. Luke is taking a step back to keep things safe. He is stepping back completely, but Gary Schmidt now on that low approach, very stabilized. Those massive Super STOL flaps are out.
Oh,
and he's good. This will be a good landing. Great score for Gary Schmidt.
A little bit of brake fade there, I would expect, or just a little bit of traction differential there, a little bit of a tweak there. We measure from the furthest tire from the line, when the furthest main tire. I did find out today that the rule committee for National STOL does have a rule written that you cannot intentionally J-turn to direct momentum away from the runway.
And that's largely to keep our volunteers safe on the line there, because you want to make sure that those guys are not ever having energy directed toward them. Big gust from Matt Peterson, heavy back on those brakes. Flaps are up.
Kicking up that dust.
Just an update on the scores. Warren Grobelar was in the lead with 214 feet until Mr. Schmidt, in an airplane that weighs roughly half of what Warren's weighs, came back with that 155-foot score. Very exceptional from Gary in his Walhalla, South Carolina built Just Aircraft Super STOL.
That puts Warren Grobelar in the last run at 214. So he's got a bit of ground to make up. Here's the deal, though. In National STOL proper, these two planes are not competing against each other at all.
Never are they competing, and the numbers we're looking at here for light experimental from the aircraft like the Super STOL are actually looking at, like, some of his competitors would have been the 60-foot range yesterday.
Yeah,
pretty
intense.
Wild.
Now here's Jayden coming in for the third round, 2 DQs.
2 DQs. She wants to get these numbers on the board. She's going to keep it aloft a little bit longer. She will be safe this time, even though it's a little long. It's a score, guys. That's the point.
She gave up a bunch of footage.
She did. She did, but after you have 2 scratches, you have to think to yourself, listen, I'm not going to go home with nothing, right? I've got to get a score on the board. I have to keep this going forward. All right.
Let's talk about some more sponsors that help make this.
We can do that.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about. We talked about Legend Cub already. We've talked about Aviat and their incredible airplanes, but we've mentioned McFarlane and MT Props. McFarlane's a salesperson or sales team for MT, and I was actually just in their booth picking up a couple of throttles for my airplanes.
Okay, a couple of throttles, yeah.
You got one a couple airplanes.
Yeah. Oh, a couple airplanes. Gotcha.
Before we talk about them, though, let's get on Warren because he just goosed the throttle big as he descended about 6 feet due to some sink.
There's some more sink. He's got to throw the power on. He's saving it. Oh! They say scratch.
No, I want to review the tape.
What do you guys think about that in the audience? Was that a scratch? It was good?
Everyone's saying he's good.
You specifically? That guy in that black shirt says it's good. I say it's good.
We're watching the replay right now in slow motion. Let's take a look. It is down.
It's definitely down.
Oh, that right
That's
main touching down about 2 feet before.
Sorry, dude. It wasn't good. I saw it on the camera. It wasn't good. I'm sorry.
We've got the crowd offering to throw potatoes
here.
I'm a little worried. The crowd's starting to throw fruit. That's concerning.
We're just the messengers here. Watch this. A lot, really fighting for it that time for Warren.
It did look good from our angle, but I understand now looking at that line camera, that all-important line camera, not to mention the fact that they have a little laser going across. And right now we're just seeing a few guys take off to leave, heading down toward the south.
So let's talk about
McFarlane.
takeoff
Right there. I got to say, let's talk about McFarlane.
Let's talk about McFarlane. You should visit them here at Sun and Fun. They're one of our gold sponsors. McFarlane Aviation Products are here at the show, Hangar A, booth 63 and 64. They're also bringing MT Propeller here. Their MT Propeller specialists are at Hangar B, booth 88. They've been serving the aviation community for 50 years.
For over 50 years. And what's neat about that is if you look at the front of the airplane that Warren Grobelaar is flying, he is flying an MT prop, as we've said before, but he has a little QR code they set up for him. You can go and find out a whole pilot bio and everything else about Warren and his MT Propeller on their website by scanning that QR code.
Oh, and people are saying, happy birthday, Emily, on social.
Look at that,
That's
man.
so nice. Thank you, Take One Film and Video.
You got to love it, my
really
friend.
Appreciate that.
It's the aviation family, isn't it?
Yeah,
we all gotta care for
I
each
call
other.
it the Sky Fam.
The Sky Fam.
Hashtag Sky Fam.
I dig it. Christian Grewan now. He's from Fairplay, South Carolina. He has a Rotax 915 in this airplane. That's the big boy now.
Talk to me a little bit about the difference there between the
Don't
914.
ask me hard questions.
Turbo, right?
It's got a turbo.
That's the big one.
That's the biggest difference. But the airplane's been, the engine's been designed all the way around to make more power and sustain it. Listen to the growl. You can't call it a growl after Warren's been here, can you?
No, I guess you can't.
I'm not even sure
you
if he's
can't
making
hear
full
the
power.
turbo, though. You can hear the turbo spooling up.
Very nice. Again, we see a lot of energy built in there. He probably could have pulled that off at about 75 to 80 feet. Very impressive here. John Humbird, the Flying Cowboy, the only pilot I know with his own trading card.
Yeah, we've got a couple of them here at the booth.
John has the UL Power 130 motor in this airplane, and he wanted us to let people know that this airplane is set up with everything in it that he needs to travel. He's not done anything to change this from his flight down here. Tail will be on the ground,
Whoa!
and away he goes.
Just over 25 feet for John Humbird there in that Zenith 701. He calls it the Super 701.
Exactly what you want to see here, guys.
Just
the
super
whole
incredible.
crowd just absolutely it's fantastic.
If you're new here, I would suggest plugging your ears for this next one.
You don't have to listen to us, and you're not going to be able to hear after you listen to Steve spool the turbo on his 300 horsepower Apex. And away he goes! Short of 25 feet, just around 23-foot takeoff for Steve Henry. I'm looking at his daughter, Sarah, who just had her birthday, and she is smiling. So you know Sarah's happy, Steve's happy. That's a heck of a takeoff. Now, Lake Wales native Roger is going to be taking the line. This is Roger O'Neill flying his own custom build. He built it himself, 7 Series STI winged kit fox, keeping the tail off the ground, making that rotation, getting the flaps in. We talked about his technique some. We talked about how he needs to really dive the airplane toward the ground if he wants to be able to see the numbers that he knows his airplane's capable of. And we saw that right there. Instead of letting the tail fall back to the ground, he kept the aggression. He kept the nose forward exactly as he should have. And, he only has 100 horsepower. So getting off the ground in, 100 feet, 125 feet?
Yeah,
not bad.
And I think the other thing I learned today talking to Warren, just to keep talking about Warren because I've got a crush on him, talking about how you got to make sure to keep that nose down on the takeoff roll to limit your drag.
Yep,
I think
absolutely.
It's rudimentary, but you don't want any extra drag from the airframe as you accelerate up to flying speed.
That is true for most people, except for John Humbert, because he can't do that, obviously, and somehow his airplane is made of magic dust, and he's able to land it anyway.
Oh, yeah, we got his playing cards right here. Check that out. He gave a bunch.
out.
We should hand these out to the crowd.
We can do that. So you got is all the information. It's upside down.
Oh, there we go.
I don't think he flies that way.
This one. There we go. We're doing it. We're good. We got it. We figured it out. Yeah.
Awesome,
nailed
guys.
it. Hashtag
right.
nailed it on the camera.
Christian now on approach. He's safe. How quickly can he get it stopped? These airplanes purpose built for STOL, just like this,
and they make it look so effortless.
They really do. My friend Mike Tiffy is building, almost completed his 915 powered Super STOL now, and I can't wait to see him fly it because he was a paramotor pilot turned airplane pilot who is now dating an airplane pilot turned paramotor pilot, and it's just the coolest thing to see in the world. It really is pretty neat. Aviation brings people together in whole new ways. John Humbert now, wigwag lights are working. Watch him keep this thing as close to STOL as possible using that fuselage to help him fly. He'll be flying looking through just a little crack down by his knee.
Angle of attack is insane on this airplane.
Now, we've talked about it before. It's not just the angle of attack, it's the angle of incidence. It looks like a crazy angle of attack, but the angle of incidence itself, of the angle those wings are mounted to the fuselage, help kind of give that illusion that he's climbing at 90 degrees, right?
He's definitely an aggressive pilot, and I think you're going to continue to see that because look at that first showing. That first showing, that was a sub-75-foot landing. We'll get the official score. Here comes Steve Henry, low and to your left.
Steve wants to make you smile. Off the power, hard on the brakes, getting it stopped at 51 feet.
Not messing around today with Steve. At Outlaw STOL, a little over a month ago, I saw Steve take off in 6 feet.
6 feet's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
I'm a little over 6 feet tall, so he took off in less than me.
We should do that. That could be a good video. You could lay down on the ground and he'll take off and see if he can.
My ears would bleed, but we do have the results back from that. A 22-foot takeoff and a 52-foot landing versus 25 and 65 for John Humbert. Most impressive. Roger O'Neill now, Kit Fox Series 7 STI wing 912S. He knows he's going to bring it a little bit faster than he wants. He said, I'm going to keep it fast, keep it safe. I want to get this right.
Just a beautiful landing, but definitely fast. A lot of energy to dissipate into the brakes on that one for him. But here's the thing I want to point out. I fly at 172. I can't remember the last time I was down and stopped in less than 300 feet.
No, that's fantastic.
There's a lot going on here that's exceptional piloting.
Exactly. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those moments where you just got to smile a little bit because it just doesn't seem possible that you should have a 22-foot takeoff followed by a 52-foot landing.
Let's talk about some folks that help make this possible. Legend Aircraft, we talked about them before with the MOAC. You can check them out at Sun and Fun booth. Mike Delta 1 MD1. Check out the innovative and advanced Cubs that they're building. There's only one true original. That's Legend Aircraft.
And let's talk about Sarasota Avionics. Right here in Florida, they have like 6 locations. They do maintenance. They do avionics installs. They do it all, and they've done it for a long time. We really appreciate all the help from Sarasota Avionics. They always help combine to our prize pool to give really cool Garmin prizes to our pilots. It's always a good time, and we appreciate Sarasota Avionics.
Yeah, 5 different Florida locations for them.
As we're getting ready, I want to talk about one last sponsor, and that's one I'm excited about, Rugged Radios. They provide the radios for Husky National STOL, and they do an exceptional job of keeping all these people communicating to make sure that our scores are accurate and that everyone knows where everyone should be. We saw a nice takeoff there from Christian Griwan. Should have the number here in just a moment as John Humbert takes the line.
John's getting ready to go. I think he's doing a little bit of pre-flight checking for the wind, just like you mentioned.
I'm sure he is.
Here he goes.
There's the rotation. He's off the ground.
Dragging the tail. Huge vertical there for John Humbert.
Looks like around a 35-foot launch, 35-foot takeoff there.
And what's great to see, maybe not if you're Steve Henry, but what's great to see is John Humbert just nipping at Steve Henry's heels all week.
He is indeed. That was a 35-foot takeoff after a 112 from Christian Griwan. Steve now looking at the line judge, looking at the flag, saying, I don't know. I want it. I want it. Oh, he got it.
Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the kind of takeoffs that we all come to STOL Comps for because it's just plain silly.
So intense. So his last one was 22 feet. This one a little longer, 28 feet on the takeoff there.
And as Roger O'Neill gets ready for takeoff, I just want to let everyone know that our friend Jaden Newman, the 19-year-old phenom female pilot, is right here at Show Center. She is ready to sign autographs or to chat with any of the young ladies who'd like to. Fantastic performance there from Roger. Jaden slaying it out with the Patriot. We love to see it after all that experience in the Carbon Cup.
Come here, Jaden. Come get in there. Yeah, there's Jaden. What's up, Jaden?
See, girls can do it too, and sometimes they do it way better than boys. Hang on, we got a microphone for you here. If I can pull one without pulling it. Scary.
That's probably working. There we go.
All right.
There we go.
Hey there.
Oh, look at me.
Hi, Jaden. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What do you think about STOL, and what makes you so passionate about it?
I like, let's see. What do I like? I like that it's not something that a lot of people know about, and I like promoting STOL, especially as a young girl in aviation. I think it really helps promote STOL and just what we do out here.
That's awesome. Do you actually go in the backcountry and play too? Or just
I do.
Yeah?
I do.
All right. So I've heard that you're getting yourself a Patriot, and I've heard that it has some secrets up its sleeve. I'm excited to see those.
Me too.
Christian, now on approach. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but we love having you here. You have any questions for me?
I was going to ask Jaden if she could grade the next landing. If she wanted to
we need to give her some numbers to.
Yeah, you could hold up some numbers and see what you think.
What do you? I mean, as a competitor right here, what are you looking for? We saw your style of approach today. It resulted in a couple of scratches, but you were a little more aggressive. You're kind of coming in under the power band, working that nose up as high as you can. What are you looking for personally in the perfect approach?
Well, yesterday was the first time I had ever flown the Patriot.
Right.
Very first time I had ever flown the Patriot. And so I'm being a little more gentle today, just trying to, I guess, not crash the airplane.
It is the only one of its kind. That is a good point.
Yeah, I don't want to crash the first Patriot ever made.
What do you think of John Humbert's approach right here?
10 out of 10.
She waited until he landed.
10 out of 10.
He's not going to like the numbers. I know that John is such a competitor, but you know, he has a different approach than anybody else out there because he's flying the tricycle gear airplane. He's always really rocking the nose back with that high tail. It's interesting to watch each of you guys because you bring so much different style to every one of these flying. I can't speak right now because I'm watching Steve Henry come in and it just makes me excited.
No one can talk when Steve Henry's flying.
Ooh, look at
holding it off there.
That's the one he wanted.
Nice.
That's the one he wanted, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Henry showing us how it's done. He's begging for competitors, by the way. He wants other people out there to have 300 horsepower super aircraft. So talk to him. He'll help you make one. Jaden, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
I feel like I'm hurting your back making
Hey, sorry, we should have offered you a chair.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all you're doing.
Thanks,
and for
Jaden.
everyone who'd like to meet Jaden or get a picture, get an autograph, make sure you follow her on social media, but she's going to be right here behind the tower. And also, for those of you guys who don't know, we do have merch available right next to the main taxiway. Roger O'Neill now, low approach.
Whoa, coming in hot with that bounce there.
Now we get to ask him which landing he liked best.
He could log 4 is the joke, right? He could log 4 of them. But
so my cousin has an airplane. It's my uncle's airplane. It's a 172 tail dragger. It's a 1960. So it's a slant tail. And it's the last two are Mike Bravo's. We call it mucho bounco because there's just not enough tail to keep things going. But we got some good news. I'm looking at Matt Peterson right now.
Everyone's showing up to the booth. They're like, tell me how I did.
You got your best by 100 feet, my friend. Yep,
and Matt, you can go
out there. Yeah.
Matt, you can go to nationalstol.com/scoring and find out for yourself instead of interrupting the stream next time.
That is a thing you could do, Matt. And anyone else out there, if you'd like to know the scores, nationalstol.com/scoring will give you all the information you need on scores, but you can also find out more information about where we'll be next, where our new events are. We have a new National STOL event somewhere in the U.S. almost every single month. Next month, we're in California. followed by, I believe it's Oklahoma or Kansas. It's going to be a wild time, and it's always neat to see new people at these new events. Christian Graywan. Ooh, his best takeoff yet by a long shot. Christian sub 100.
John Hubbard. Now, we did see John Hubbard have a decrease in his takeoff distance. Could be a technique thing, could also just be a wind thing.
It could be, but one of the things about John is he actually won overall champion with a Duke propeller, one of our sponsors, Duke. I own one. It's on my Kit Fox. I love it.
It's making it so easy we didn't even react. He's off sub 50 feet.
Sub 50. It's okay. It's barely longer than the airplane.
That's actually a F-14 Tomcat, 50 feet nose to tail. So think about that when you look out there.
I think he'd like to land on top of one. I bet he'd enjoy it. Pouring it to
Steve! Holy moly, Steve. He's waving to the crowd. Did you see that, everybody? Look how amazing that was.
When Steve was flying this airplane at the maximum boost, he said he was literally tearing the airplane apart, the engine apart, at 25 pounds of boost. He's not that high now. He says it's a trade secret where he is now, but I'm just amazed by how much power that aircraft has. Here's an aircraft with a third the power and a lot of performance, even so. Rotate. Yes, nice work, Roger.
There we go. We're seeing a lot of improvement with every time. I think the biggest challenge for him is just getting that speed control on landing.
Well, and it's a different game. Normally, you want a smooth landing. You want to make it nice and easy. He's coming at this with a complete clean slate.
Yeah, definitely.
Tons to learn.
And not interested in passenger comfort at all is kind of the name of the game.
Are you just saying that after flying with Matt Peterson?
Definitely 100% why I'm saying that. Let's talk about, you were talking about Duke propellers a little bit before, but they've got this new Cobra prop that they unveiled here at Sun and Fun. You can check it out, Sun and Fun booth. November 077, N077. Duke obviously offering a complete range of aeronautical carbon-made propellers and rotors manufactured, founded in 1997.
And one of the cool things about Duke is their propeller hub is actually carbon fiber. And it's a really unique system of that carbon fiber, so I love it. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. It's something different, and I like things that are different and people who are thinking outside the box. Christian Grewon fighting the winds there. You'll watch his right wing continue to dip. That crosswind component coming into play, especially as it starts moving over the RVs and tents over there. You start getting a little more rotor, that mechanical turbulence. Oh, it's a scratch,
for him.
And Christian had the best takeoff there he's had all day. By about 20 feet, 21 feet. So that will definitely be a bummer for Christian. But, hey, having a 93-foot takeoff feels pretty good, and the majority of his landings have been under 140 feet.
Here comes our friend John Hubbard. Now, let's look at the standings for a second leading into this. Steve Henry was 63 feet. John Hubbard, 90 feet. In an airplane with less than half the horsepower.
And I will say this. In December, I watched John get a 65, so he can be right in that same wheelhouse with Steve. He just needs to get this dialed in. He's floating. He's barely moving.
It's good. Whoa, big bounce.
Hey, if the bounce slows him down, I think it works.
We could hear that one all the way over here, but it worked out for him.
Look at the stall speed on this aircraft. Just absolutely coming in like a butterfly and then landing like an elephant.
Just really feeling it out. Bam! Almost hit the tail as well.
It's just amazing how rigid that gear is, that nose gear, keeping the prop safe even in a crazy bounce like that.
You got Paul on social media saying, "Yeehaw, Wild West aircraft! Here he comes right now."
He's carrying a lot more speed than his compatriot was. Look at those brakes completely locked up. You can see the stripe.
Just over 50 feet.
Yeah.
You think 54? We'll see. I thought it was going to be like 52. Let's see who's right.
We'll see. 53, we split the difference. I'll take it.
Here's your friend Roger coming into the Kit Fox.
He's keeping it a little bit lower this time. His speed is still definitely up there. We're going to have to work on this together. On his family's ranch, he said he's going to already got the plan to paint some lines and get to work.
And I want to give him credit for demoing with us.
For coming out here with the greatest. I mean, your first time out, and you're flying with Steve Henry, John Hubbard, and Christian Grewon. I mean, what an honor. And honestly, you got to come out and be a little bit scared, right? I mean,
only a little bit.
I don't want to be in that class.
I don't want to be in that class either.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as they're coming down the line, make sure you wave, you say hello. We appreciate them being here. John Humbard's honking his horn, and we want to talk a little bit about our friends. You just changed hats for this.
I did change hats for this. Yeah, that's right. Airt Coatings.
Airt Coatings creates some of the finest paint finishes, and they help paint fly. I love what Airt has done. In fact, the Super Patriot is painted with Airt Coatings.
That's right. The plane that Jaden, we just talked to Jaden, that plane that she's flying is Airt Coating product. You can check them out here at Sun and Fun booth NE003, Northeast 003, November Echo 003, however you want it. They're right next to the Compass Rose. They've got a Sun and Fun special going on right now, 10% off.
I wish I knew about this. I just bought covering materials like three months ago. I could have waited.
Waited for it. They've been in 1981. Man, I couldn't even read that. I'm so excited. Since 1981, they've been revolutionizing aircraft paint. That's Airt Coatings.
Jared Justice. Now, Jared, you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, but Jared was a competitor at Swamp Stool, and he has a Kit Fox Model 4, and he says, I wish I was there so I could smear that Kit Fox with my 4. We're going to see Roger O'Neill heading back to his home base at Bartow Airport. Jared, I believe, has a Speedster wing. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he has a Speedster wing on his 4, and I'm interested to know if he does or not because my Kit Fox Model 4 has a Speedster wing.
Oh, there you go. A little bit more cross-country, a little less little trade, right?
It's a little more stole drag, all right? Let's just be
clear. A little more
stole
drag, a little less mountaintop. I got you.
That's right. Cameron Simmons now back in that Super Patriot. This airplane has seen a lot of different pilots. It is not set up for competition at all. It is set up for cross-country touring, but he's going to get off the ground at around 75 feet. Cameron is 25 years old. He's been flying since he was 17. He's flown many different types. He personally owns a Carbon Cub, but he's switching over to the dark side of the Patriot Cub. This airplane just announced on Tuesday here at Sun and Fun.
And here's the bright pinked Aeropract Fox Bat.
We saw some impressive numbers last night from the Fox Bat. This Ukrainian-built aircraft getting off the ground at 110 or so feet, 118 feet, pretty impressive.
And you notice there that he started to get it out of ground effect and had to let it come down back into ground effect just for a minute to get a little more speed. That's great. That's what we want. We want to get it off the ground. It's not about those huge deck angles necessarily. It's about getting those wheels off the ground.
Now let's check out the Rev. This is the craziest thing we've seen today so far, soon to be topped. Larry Mednick, designer of 5 different aircraft, jumping off the ground in that Delta Wing trike, weight shift trike. You can notice his input so much more obvious than you would on a traditional aircraft.
And I want to point out this on the line. I think this is a national STOL first.
I believe it is. This is an American Ranger AR-1 flown by Greg Spicola. He is based in Tampa, Florida, flies out of Zephyr Hills, I believe, into the power. And he is off the ground, ladies and gentlemen, a national STOL first. The dust is everywhere. That's 115 feet or so. Very cool.
Now, I definitely went through a gyrocopter phase and got really excited about gyros. I'm excited to see what he can do on the landing with that.
You know, I am as well, and I can't say I've gone through a gyro phase, but my grandfather is in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the first guy to ever loop and roll a gyrocopter, old Benson KB-1. And what's crazy is on his deathbed, he said, none of my family are ever to fly this because it's the most dangerous thing I've ever done. World War II fighter pilot, true story. But I have flown them, and they are really cool. All right, we just got great information as we see Cam coming in safely over the line, but a bit longer than he'll like. At the end of this round, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see a fly-off. If we're given enough time, we're going to see a fly-off from between John Humbard, who else? Steve Henry
and Warren Grobelar.
I mean, we can't ask for a better fly-off than that.
He just told me, and it was gone from my brain.
I was just trying to set you up there. You know, we got to work on this. That's all right.
That's all right.
One of the things we can work on is Ladd Gardner Insurance, because Ladd Gardner is the insurer of this event. What do you think about Ladd?
Well, Ladd, I mean, obviously Ladd Gardner, if you're looking for aviation insurance, you should look no further than Ladd Gardner. They've got an extensive team of professional aviators that can help you get the experience, the insurance experience that you deserve. they're aviation insurance protected.
Hey,
It's like garden.
it seems like a pretty good line. We got some comments here from Paul Yarger and Jared Justice saying that they wish that Hal Stockman had made it. We agree. We all miss Hal. Having him at Swamp Stoll is a joy. He's always just a hoot to be around.
Love watching Hal compete because he's putting down competitive scores compared to Steve Henry, using basically the complete opposite approach to getting off the ground.
Exactly. Now we've got, let's see, Andy Humphrey. That's his name.
Andy Humphrey in the pink Foxbat. Again, first landing, very safe. Gave up about 75 feet before the wheels touched. Got to get it a little bit more dialed into the line this next time around.
But with that said, that would be a 225-foot landing with a 100-foot takeoff. That's pretty exceptional out of an airplane not designed for STOL, but very STOL capable. You know, that's what this event is possible for. You can bring out your own airplane. You can bring out your company's airplane. You can come out here and have fun while learning to be a better pilot along the way.
Here comes Larry Mednick. Trike. Now, we were talking about this last night, but for the folks who weren't here last night, we should talk a little bit about how trikes work. Excited to see it because it's definitely a different way of controlling. If you were explaining to me, you've actually flown trikes, the input controls are reversed compared to what we would think of.
They are. So if you want to go up, you push up. You want to go down, you pull that bar back into your chest. Side to side, you push left to go right, push right to go left. And in a crosswind like this, Larry's showing some exceptional pilotage, stopping around 175 feet.
Really, just amazing movements and swaying around as he gets it on there. Really kind of fun to watch there for Larry.
And what's neat about that is you see that on an aileron, right? And it's not as obvious. When we watch it there with that big bar, you can really get an idea of what's going into landing any aircraft. Now, for another first ever at Husky National STOL, we have the American Ranger flown by Greg Spicola. Our first gyrocopter in hover mode now.
Did he touch though? Did he tow that? Oh, scratch!
No!
It's a scratch!
Oh my gosh. But he's landing in like 18 inches. Oh my God. Jay cannot believe it. He's looking at me. I don't know. Why aren't you flying, Jay Stanford? He's calling a rules violation for rotorcraft. We're going to make sure that the rotorcraft is in his category next time we see Jay Stanford fly.
Well, yeah, Jay's on the rules committee, and he's got some things to say about that. But he also told me earlier today that all you need to start a class is 3. So we just need 2 more gyros, and they can have their own class.
I'm pretty sure we can get them. I love seeing these guys out here.
The replay of that, it's just bonkers.
You know, gyros are really interesting craft because with a pre-rotator, they can almost jump directly off the ground. And as we just saw, they can come in at 3 miles an hour and let it just stop.
We should talk about our friends, the Fat Tire Cowboys.
Fat Tire Cowboys make the best bull spit cleaning solutions. That is bull spit. I am enunciating clearly. Don't worry for children in the audience. They clean your airplane better than anyone and can with an impressive takeoff in that Super Patriot.
The other folks, as we get ready to go, a crowd favorite there in the gyro.
No question.
A little disconcerting with the rotor spinning as he comes by the booth there.
It's about 10 feet away. We're good. We're safe.
As the Foxbat takes off, I also want to give a shout out to another one of our sponsors, Sporty's Pilot Shop. Who has not purchased something from Sporty's?
Everything comes from Sporty's. Our first E6Bs to our logbooks to sometimes your local charts. Sporty's has it all, and they've been doing it for a very long time. 61 years, in fact.
And then 20 years with the courses training people how to fly.
Larry Mednick off at 100. He may be aiming for that top spot in consistency, very close to his previous best, saving about 10 feet. Oh no, he saved 20, 95-foot takeoff.
Man, look at this gyro. This is you wanted to see something new and exciting here at National STOL. Sun and Fun 22, that is definitely it. So cool to see that. Look at the vertical there once he's got up to speed too.
Now, his previous takeoff was 124 feet. This one was 188. If he is, in fact, able to get let's call it a 1-foot landing, right? If he's able to get a 1-foot landing, he's going to have to get one more shorter takeoff, and he could be in contention for 3rd.
That's kind of crazy. Still interesting that with that basically 1-foot landing, Steve Henry is still providing a 63-foot
takeoff
combined
and
score.
landing. Yes.
Humbird 90, Gary Schmidt 155, Warren Grobelar in the massive, comparatively massive 180, 214, Luke Spohr 239, and Jaden Newman just a few feet behind him, 241.
Indeed. On approach now, we do have Cameron Simmons bringing it in. Cameron actually has 2 different degrees in aviation. He has a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and he is building his own Super Patriot. He will be a salesman for these beautiful aircraft. Off the power, heavy under braking. Get those flaps up. He's got it. Get it stopped. All right.
Really great seeing him land so close to the line there.
And he said he's not being overly aggressive. He does not want to push this airplane too far because this is the only one in the world, and he doesn't want to do anything silly, which you have to appreciate.
Speaking of the only one in the world, though, Steve Henry, his specific mods, only one in the world, had a little bit of a thing happen earlier this week, and saw him come right back.
This is actually really cool because the Aero Practice on final right now, and I'm not as familiar with him as I'd like to be, but we have a commenter online saying he's very familiar with the Foxbat and Aeroprax in general. It was designed with both STOL and cruise speed in mind because it cruises at 95 knots and stalls at 30. Now, I've flown one, and it's a nice flying aircraft. I flew one on floats, but I did not realize it was designed with both in mind. Pretty cool stuff.
Love that bright paint job on it. Definitely a scratch there for him.
All right, we did run out of time for the fly-off. We do have the night air show beginning at about 7:15 tonight. We'll have to turn over the airspace at 7 o'clock. For those of you guys who have been enjoying this Husky National STOL demonstration, make sure you wander on down to the flight line for the main air show, because you should see some fun stuff, including what has been called by the FAA as the Flying Cheerios, my team, the Paradigm Aerobatic team.
The Flying Cheerios.
We were dubbed that as Oshkosh 2016, the big white lights that we have on there for 2017. Pretty cool stuff.
Definitely fun to watch. I think, I had the pleasure of putting a paramotor. You taught me how to kite a paramotor wing. And it was exhilarating.
All right, eyes up to Larry. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just watching him battle that crosswind. He's got a lot of speed. He's flying a very small glider. You have to understand that this very small Delta Wing trike is capable of speeds over 100 miles per hour in cruise, is extremely dynamic turns. It is a blast to fly with Larry. If you get the opportunity here at Sun and Fun, he is giving demo rides, and he's a fantastic instructor along with his wife, Amy, right here in Zephyr Hills, Florida.
Here we go now. Here comes the gyro. We got Greg at the controls. Does not want to scratch again.
Come on,
Just
Greg.
coming in slow. It's good.
It's good. Fantastic. I think Steve Henry may still have him in distance, which is just incredible to think about. But we love to see these guys come out here, have a little fun, and do something different. I have been asked by the folks at Patriot Aircraft to let everyone know that the airplane will be back out just outside the runway area as soon as this is over, and Jaden and Cam will be there to discuss their experiences as young STOL pilots. Cameron at 25 with his master's in aviation studies. Jaden at 19 with years now of STOL experience under her belt with both her own Carbon Cub and now with the Super Patriot. Last round now for Andy Humphrey in that Foxbat. Almost dragging the tail.
There we go.
There's the aggression he wanted to show so badly, saying, hey, I can do it too.
Just nursing it off there.
Yes, indeed. Previous takeoff was 100 feet. This one, 120. Sorry, 146. We've seen a drop, 100, 120, 146, and there's 3. Ooh.
And there's some sort of FOD on the runway, some examination on the runway to make sure that we're safe to go here.
The Air Boss calling it short there, saying, hang on, we got to make sure things are good, things are safe. It looks like Greg Spicola is very sad. He's shaking his head, his hands on his forehead.
Know anything else about that?
All right, looks like he tried to go. They tried to hold him. He tried to go, and now he's taxied on by. And now they're saying it's a mechanical issue. Never heard of a mechanical issue on a gyrocopter. There's
something
not many things.
was on the ground there, so it's definitely possible that something.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I know that all these aircraft
Oh,
are
you're joking
complex.
out about it. Never.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I missed whoosh right over my head.
I actually got to go to a gyrocopter manufacturer over in the Czech Republic, and it was remarkable to see all the different aircraft. Looks like a broken brake pad on the Ranger. What a disappointment for our friend Greg Spicola. We look forward to seeing him back here again, hopefully in the future.
Here comes Cam now in that Patriot.
Super Patriot on low approach.
It's weird because I only see 2 tires just floating through the air. It's got that stealth technology.
Stealth technology. Ooh, it's a scratch. All right. We also camouflaged in pink, says I couldn't see the airplane and the tower could. We have our friend Andy Humphrey in the Aeropract Foxbat. He is our final landing of the night through our Charlie class. For everyone who's come out tonight, we've greatly enjoyed having you, and we're looking forward to seeing this Foxbat put her down just past the line. He did scratch his last round, but I know he's back for redemption.
Adding a little bit of power there to hold it off, and he's scratched.
Ah, what a bummer for Andy. But great to see him out here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for all coming out here tonight. If you haven't yet, please check out our merch booth right in the middle of the taxiway area right here. We'd love to have you take a look at that, pick up some of the Husky National STOL merch. We will go through the scores here in just a moment and walk you guys through who took what today. I'm going to go ahead and let you do that, Ryan.
Well, no surprise, maybe no surprise. Steve Henry. Best takeoff, 22 feet tonight. Best landing, 35 feet combined. Score of 63. John Humbert, 90 feet combined. Gary Schmidt in 3rd place, if it were a competition. 155 feet. Warren Grobelar in that Cessna 180, 214 feet combined. Greg in the gyro, 219. Love to see that. I'll never forget that. And Luke Spohr in our 6th place position with the combined score of 239 in that Legend MOAC.
Absolutely a lot of fun to watch tonight, watching the crowd go absolutely wild. I want to say thank you to each and everyone who is here. You can find out more information on National STOL at nationalstol.com. Find out how you can get involved or come out to a local event. I also encourage you to check out Super Aero, both
thanks,
as a
man.
podcast, Instagram, Facebook, etc. My friend Ryan here, and our YouTube channel is youtube.com/aviator, where you can find out more information with our live show every Friday.
Eric, this has been awesome. It's been one heck of a week here doing the STOL demo at Sun and Fun 22. And of course, we have everything you'd expect to see. The sun is starting to come down and give that beautiful Florida sunset. And now it's time to go over and enjoy a nighttime air show.
It is. I'm going to go over with my guys, get them all set up and ready to go. We love Sun and Fun. We love air shows, and we love our aviation family, or what'd you call them?
Sky Fam. Hashtag Sky Fam, everybody.
Right. I appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for watching and being a part of this broadcast over the last few days. We'll look forward to seeing you all in California in late May to Tehachapi Valley. It's going to be fun.
Awesome, dude.
Right?
Thank you
Love
for sharing the mic with me. It's been an awesome time.
It's been a great time indeed. Have
Thanks,
a great
everybody.
night,
We'll see you soon.
Thank you soon.
Meet up at the compound, group up.
At 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
Good morning, everybody. We're here the first day of Sun and Fun 2022. Started at 9 o'clock this morning. We got the booth all set up for you. We need you to come by the booth to get y'all's free prize. Here, spin the wheel, guys. You spin the wheel, you might win something. We got some really cool gifts on here. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube videos. Come by and see the booth. We're going to have the blimp flying later today. If this wind will calm down, we're going to have the blimp up 30 feet in the air, guys. Be a cool sight to see. We got some great deals inside. If you need a quote on your installation of your aircraft, any kind of new stuff, new products, we got a lot of stock in-house, more than anybody else that I've seen here. So come by and see what we got here, guys. Good morning, 2022. Come by and see us. We'll be here all week.
When it's time to recover and paint your fabric-covered aircraft, look no further than Airt Coatings. Since 1982, our FAA-approved system provides you with a shiny, durable, easy-to-apply product. The Airt system has fewer steps than any other product on the market today, saving you both time and money. While using cutting-edge technology, we offer a wide range of products. Whether it's for work, play, antique, or aerobatic, we have you covered. Remember, we make paint fly.
There are thousands of airstrips that are dirt, grass, and mud across the United States, Canada, and the world. Many of these are inaccessible to normal aircraft. There's a certain breed of pilot who wants to be able to land anywhere, either for sport or by pure necessity. They're bush pilots. We practice these skills so we can be safe off airport, so we can get into and out of the tight spots, the backcountry, and the unimproved fields. You'll now watch some of the best pilots in the world show you what they can do with as little as 50 feet. Not only can they take off and land off airport, they can take off and land anywhere. This is the Husky National STOL Series.